cleaning up after you. Who here has ever said that? Who here has ever used that tone? Tonight I'm going to be talking about nonviolent communication, or NVC, and how by applying its method we can more clearly communicate our needs and the requirements in order to meet those needs. Nonviolent communication is founded on developing language and communication skills in order to enrich our lives, reframe the way we express ourselves, and how we listen to others. It's achieved by helping people to exchange the information necessary to resolve conflict and differences peacefully. Most of us were raised with the reward and punishment system. If you were a good boy or girl, you got a reward. If you were a bad boy or girl, you got a punishment. As we grow into adults, we tend to carry these methods or this philosophy with us into adulthood. But in all honesty, it doesn't accurately reflect the other humans that we have relationships with. You can't really say like that human is bad. A more accurate description would be that human has some needs that aren't being met. Nonviolent communication is a method in order to use through communication to identify those needs and then how to facilitate those needs with the person you're communicating with. So a little bit about where nonviolent communication came from. It was created by Marshall Rosenberg. He grew up in Detroit in the 40s and witnessed the Detroit race riots. I had to look up what this was. It was a week-long riot that killed 34 people and wounded 433 people. Him and his family had to lock the door to keep people from getting inside their house for a week long. Pretty intense. From that, he developed a kind of sense of awareness of suffering, and he decided to pursue psychology in college. And after college, he still wanted to learn more in order to help people. So he continued to develop nonviolent communication as a traveling peacemaker. He traveled around the world, went through 60 countries, helping people to identify needs and not identify people as just good and bad. In 1984, Marshall founded the Center for Nonviolent Communication in order to train and spread this process around the world. So I'm going to go over the 4 elements that make up non-communication. It includes observation, feelings, needs, and requests. For the sake of time, I'm going to only focus on the internal process, because once you really internally learn how to use nonviolent communication, you then are able to use it to help others. So with observation, the first one, this great quote I came across was, "Judgment without observation is the epitome of ignorance, while observation without judgment is the epitome of wisdom." So observation without judgment. To be able to internally tune in and listen to what your needs are, and to be able to connect with the person that you're communicating with. It's a very efficient and effective tool to suspend judgment, to not think about all these issues that you are identifying with the person you're communicating with, but just really just tune in and observe. Once you're able to do that, you can move on to the second element of non-violent communication, and that is feelings. So for tonight, I'm going to reflect back on my opening statement. I am always helping, or I am always cleaning up after you. So using observation, I wanted to identify the feelings that are behind that statement, because obviously to always be cleaning up after someone is an exaggeration. They would have to be paraplegic, and you would literally have to clean up with them after them all day, every day, to be able to have that as a true statement. So to identify the word always being used is a good indicator that there is an underlying feeling that is charging that statement. So, and oftentimes feelings and the word thought gets interchanged because of the English language. An example sentence would be, I feel that my boss should give me the time off. That's not very accurate use of the word feel, because actually you're thinking that your boss should be giving you the time off. So to accurately describe that sentence would be, I think my boss should give me the time off. Actual feelings that could be underneath this would be overworked, pressured, taken for granted, unappreciated. So identifying these feelings. Next would come the need, because driving every feeling is a need that's either being met or not met. When I use the word always, we could say that the need for being supported is not being met. And the last one is request. It's very important to be very clear with a request so that the person you're communicating with knows how they can help facilitate and help you with your need. So, upon my opening statement of, I am always cleaning up after you, there is a better way using nonviolent communication in order to express your needs to get desired results. I'm going to give you an example sentence, and you listen for the 4 elements that are being used. When you don't pick up after yourself, I feel unappreciated because my need for support is not being met. Would you be willing to clean up the living room so that my need for support could be met? Imagine the 2 outcomes from using those 2 different ways of communicating and being able to have your needs met. Nonviolent communication is not set in stone, but more like a framework that you can then bring into each conversation. I hope to, in my next speech, share with you the external way to use nonviolent communication so that you can help other people identify their needs and communicate them to you. Thank you very much.